could be better being all the way back here. This video is brought to you by my second channel, Bruffy's Random Bits. Subscribe to it via the link in the description for random clips that don't make it to the main channel, as well as full-blown Let's Plays, with my current project being to play through all the GTA games before GTA 6. Starting off in the Imperator to represent the non-raceable muscle cars. As you may have seen, the muscle cars testing video was released recently. And that was a lot of work. So I thought, let's do a random race with all muscle cars. Oh. Immediately, I can't believe it. I hate lag. Oh, he said go. Okay, well, never mind. Excellent. Wasn't making that corner. Excellent start to this one. So yeah, the muscle cars testing video just went up. I went through every single muscle car, retested it. Thought let's do a random race with all the muscle cars, not all of them, but let's do a random race with muscle cars. I don't know what I'm meant to do in that situation, if like people are going to be smashing into people and then stopping dead because of it. The test race was so much better than this. So we've got cars that represent every single tier of muscle. We'll see if anyone gets it in the right order. Alright, Brigham for me first up. To get it in the right order, you would need to have, what did we choose? The slam van, I think, first of all. But yeah, every tier of muscle. So, if you've seen the testing video for the muscle class, we've got tiers all the way down from S to O, and then the non-raceable class. Subclass, which is what the Imperator was representing. I can't remember off the top of my head which tier the Brigham is in. Maybe you guys in the chat can help me keep track of which order I get the tiers in. See what it spells at the end. You can't race the Imperator, no. Arena vehicle. Okay, J for the Brigham, that sounds right. I'm happy the muscle testing is now done. Hopefully I can settle into this race and have a bit of fun now. The first lap was not good. Hopefully it can calm down a bit now. I'm not expecting much from a performance perspective now after that first lap, but let's have a bit of fun and enjoy some muscle cars. It's going to be a long one on a relatively long circuit. 20 cars. Buffalo STX S tier. I know that one. We've got, I think there's 2 cars from 1 or 2 tiers. But yeah, we're pretty much covered. And also, we've got a car from every year as well. Every year of release as an extra little addition. Thank you to DiNmiTe for helping me do this race. He picked out other cars, gave me a short list, I changed a few of them, and then he's created the class. It took a weight off my shoulders having to do it. You know, since DiNmiTe does everything, he might as well. I might as well just make him do everything if you're going to say that he does everything. Drove the car. If he's going to get credit for doing everything on my channel anyway, I might as well just give him everything to do. Alright, so I've had one of the best cars in the race, and I've gained quite a few positions. But I'm going to have some pain later on. Oh, never mind. Or pain right now, maybe. Slam van time. So I've gone from the top tier to the bottom tier. S to O. Very close, to be fair, between the slam van and the rat loader at the bottom of the class. The rat loader did get the quicker lap time, but I think because the slam van's got such a better top speed, it's close between them, to be fair. The rat truck kind of dominates the O tier. Poor slam van, forever lasting muscle, but one of the most enjoyable cars to drive. Such a challenge on the brakes. Better when you don't get hit though. What class is the new Impaler in? There's a loaded question. There's two new Impalers. One's in muscle, one's in sedans. The newest one is in sedans, I think. Well, considering I haven't tested it yet, if it's in muscle, then I've missed it. Alright, Hustler. So we've gone from a car with no brakes and difficult to turn to another car with not much in the way of braking and difficult to turn. Although the Hustler is significantly quicker than the slam van. Oh, please, you could have respawned. I was hoping he would. Impaler SZ is in sedans. Yeah, I thought so. So you'll be seeing the lap time and top speed for the Impaler SZ when I get to the sedans testing video. So we did J, S, O, Hustler. I don't know what tier. There's so many tiers that it's difficult to remember. I don't know what tier the Hustler was in. Just need to get the hot knife next. And I've had all the sort of difficult to handle cars. I thought it would make a G. Okay, JSOG. That's where we're at right now. I thought it would make an interesting random race though. Because there's such a wide gap of performance in muscle. Evidenced by the fact there's 30 less vehicles than sports, but we've got the same number of tiers. Just because the gaps in performance in muscle from top to bottom are huge in comparison to sports or supers or anything really. Tulip M100. Certainly better than the regular Tulip. Oh! Quite tricky, the M100 to handle. But yeah, everyone go watch the muscle cars testing video if you haven't already. I've got my Keep Calm and Continue Testing t-shirt on, store.provi.com. It's a lot of work testing all these vehicles, retesting them. It is to get me sort of get me prepared for GTA 6 testing more than anything else, I suppose, but it's nice to be going through the bigger classes. Sport Classics next, and then it gets significantly easier. Alright, Drift Yosemite. I think this is actually going to be drifting though, unlike vanilla. This got into tier B, didn't it? B tier. JSOG B. This version wouldn't. Both the Yosemites jumped up in muscle. Regular Yosemite jumped up to A and this jumped up to B to take its place. I suppose if you get the drift version of the Drift Yosemite on vanilla, you can make it drift, so this is representing that too. It's been a bit of a messy race so far. At least from my perspective. Hopefully it's been messy for others as well and I can make some places. Again, as always, it'll all come together at the end. But we don't know where we're going to be until the very last few laps when everybody gets the same cars by the end of the race. Just in a different order. Okay, how am I taking the chicane? Let's be careful. There we go. Yeah, this is one of the less bad drift cars on Project Homecoming. That wasn't too bad of a lap. The Cokehead Blackfin. I think in the testing video, it was the D tier and the B tier that I pointed out specifically as being really good for racing. This is the D tier. The classic vehicles. Great tier D. Blackfin. Ruiner, Sabre Turbo, some great cars. And yeah, the Blackfins always sounded great. We're not spelling anything, are we, with the tiers so far? JSOGBD. Lovely car, the Blackfin. Right, I'm kind of lonely in 10th. Oh, never mind. Alright, Moonbeam, that classic muscle car. How could we not include it? How could we not include the Moonbeam? The Moonbeam and the Moonbeam Custom are actually exactly the same in terms of their stats. The only reason the Moonbeam Custom is so much faster is because it gets the modification on the back that acts like a spoiler. If you ever want to compare a car with a spoiler and without a spoiler, look at the Moonbeam and the Moonbeam Custom lap times. I don't know what tier the Moonbeam was in though. I'm not going to be able to remember all these tiers in order. I'm going to need you guys in the chat. And I need someone to keep updating the list. Oh yeah, the Moonbeam was in tier M. I remember. Tier M for the Moonbeam. The Moonbeam tier. Wait, when did we have something in F? Oh, the Hustler was F. J Sog for Budum. M for Moonbeam, M for Muscle. Yeah, it makes total sense. It must be a muscle car. It starts with an M, so they put it in muscle. Alright, Virgo. That's the second person who's asked about 2 sports classic cars. Someone earlier in the chat asked where the Mamba was. Now someone's asking where's the Monroe. Yeah, they're sports classics. You'll see those in the next video. I really like the Virgo. Sounds good. It's fun to race with. It handles nicely. But I was pleasantly surprised by the Virgo Classic Custom as well. Actually kept one of those after the testing. Alright, the end of this lap will be halfway through. 10 cars to go. I think I've had a pretty even selection of good and bad cars. I very much doubt it, but it would be amazing if somebody actually got them in the order of the tiers. The chances are probably minuscule. But it'd be pretty cool. There's the hot knife. This is where we find our inability to turn. Remember when this was locked behind the collector's edition of GTA 5? When I tested this originally back on old gen, I needed to use other people's in a GTA race. I think I did a rally race actually then. Because I didn't have it. I had the special edition rather than the collector's edition. That's a hell of a takeout. That's got to be a wait. See, I would have just waited for that on my own. Didn't get called out in the chat, but I would have been. I've got my keyboard on now. If that happens to me, I'll be calling people out. Everything that happened on the first lap was just situation, unfortunately. Ooh, okay. I can only turn so much in a hot knife. I think he heard you. Yeah, I think so. Chicane's gonna be a challenge. I've always liked the hot knife. Fun car. Alright, Dominator ASP back to glory at the top of the A tier. After all the changes it's gone through, with all the tuner handling flag updates and slowdowns and nerfs and buffs, it's back at the top of A tier. Remember when this was dominant? We've had a lot of good muscle cars be released, when you think about it. Because when this was released, it was the #1 pick in muscle. Across the entire class. For a few weeks, yeah. And then we've just... things have exploded. Friggin' Pajero's going 160 miles an hour. Not the only Dominator I'm going to be driving. We've already seen one of them from other people. The Faction Custom Donk. I was wondering when I was going to get it. This improved a lot lap time wise in comparison to what I had before. It's so grippy. It's just got no top end. Like, it's so slow in a straight line. But it's really, really grippy. Oh god, that slam van's gone for a ride. Was it this that I was taking the first part of the track full throttle? I think it was. Like the whole thing, just full throttle, not even a little lift. Big wheels equals big grip. Surprising that this was the only donk that they added. And it was back in, what, 2016 or something? 2015 when this was added? Didn't add any more after that? Seems like based on the trailer, we're going to be getting plenty more donk vehicles in GTA 6. So much grip. It's really intriguing muscle. The muscle class has such a wide variety of vehicles. Some have crazy levels of grip, some have no grip but massive top speeds. There's all sorts. Hopefully this race is showcasing that. The Ruiner. Another D tier. (2013) Ruiner. The original. Still a great car. DiNmiTe's original shortlist for the car selection had the Ruiner 2000, but I felt like the Imperator was enough to represent the non-raceable vehicles, and I preferred to have the regular Ruiner represent that good D tier to race with than a classic 2013 vehicle. Alright, this is a drift tamper up ahead, so let me go up the inside. Not the outside like I sometimes do with drift cars and regret it immediately. Yosemite, sorry, not Tampa. You're right. Thank you for correcting me in the chat. My mind was on the Tampa from a few laps ago when we were talking about the Faction Custom and its crazy levels of grip. I was thinking about the Tampa being the same situation. So Tampa was in my brain. Alright, Yosemite. Another glow up. Another one that improved. A tier vehicle now, although it is spice pick in the A tier, I would say. But the Drift Yosemite took its place in B tier. Some of these OG muscle cars could do with HSW, I agree. I mean, that's what we keep saying. The best implementation of HSW was giving it to old cars rather than giving it to just every single new car. It makes no sense either. You can make a new car as fast as you want, because you can program it however you want. HSW should be meant for old cars to bring them into relevancy again. There's no point in adding a Vigero ZX when you can just make it as quick as a Vigero ZX HSW. Peyote Gasser, and this one actually has a high top speed and is a drag car, unlike the regular version. I never understood why they didn't utilize HSW more for old cars, because it also feels like a no-brainer that they can... You know, they've got so many cars. I mean, look at just muscle. All these cars that could have HSW upgrades. Some of the slow stuff as well, like the Tampa and the Phoenix and the Ruiner and the 2013 things. HSW Dominator, like old 2013 regular Dominator, could you imagine? It'd be glorious. And it also just like, especially with the old cars, they charged like $1 million for the HSW upgrades, like the Sentinel and the Sterling and stuff like that. They were quite expensive, whereas at least initially the HSW upgrades for new cars were pretty cheap because you're paying the money on the new car. At least that was the theory. I think they're just making it expensive for everything now, but but it's like, it's a way to make all these, instead of removing them from the in-game website so people are forced to buy the more expensive cars, they could have just added HSW to all these old cars and made extra money off them that way. Damn, Peyote Gasolap was alright. Top speed really helped. Gauntlet Classic Custom, another one with a good top speed. In vanilla GTA at least. HSW Elegy RH8 would be an interesting one. But no. Rockstar add HSW to new vehicles, which is completely redundant. And just to milk a little bit of extra money when someone buys a new vehicle. Oh, there's also an extra $1 million charge for an HSW upgrade. I'm trying to think if there's another S-tier vehicle, but I think the Buffalo was the only one we had representing the S-tier. So what have I got left? I think I've got a Voodoo left. 3 more cars to go. Has anyone been keeping up with the tiers? Oh, the Gauntlet Hellfire, of course. The most muscle car. Incredible machine. Everyone has to own one of these. So, such a challenge, so much fun. So nice to drive. If you want a car that feels like a muscle car, this is it. This is the quintessential muscle car. It's starting to close up, it seems, as well as the people who got the fast cars early are getting the slow cars, and the people who got the slow cars early are getting the fast cars. Can I keep a top 10? I'm not sure with that Voodoo still to go. And it was a pretty shocking first lap. I lost a lot of time. So getting a top 10 would probably be a bit of a result, to be honest. Well, there's 6th. 2 more cars left. One of them is definitely the Voodoo. I don't know what the other one is. Oh, of course. How could I forget? The Pisswasser Dominator. The #1 muscle for a long time. Before the Yosemite came around. It was the regular Dominator, then the Saber Turbo Custom destroyed the class, and then it took the Pisswasser Dominator releasing in online to bring some balance to the top of the class again. And they're still, even after my retesting, the Pisswasser Dominator and the Saber Turbo Custom still can't be separated. There's beautiful balance between those two. The two classics. But I know I've got this Voodoo on the last lap. 5th place is just ahead. Groggy in that slam van. It's all going to be what the final cars are, though. Such a great car. I've got 2 great cars back to back there with the Pisswasser Dominator and the Gauntlet Hellfire. Wonderful muscle cars. Excellent additions. Alright, well, I'm in top 5. But I've got a bad car for my final car. How far will I drop? Depends on what other people have. Voodoo Custom. The 2nd slowest tier, isn't it? The N tier. Got the slam van early on. Now it's the Voodoo Custom. Oh, K-Dog has been keeping track of all the tiers. I'll list those off. I'll read them when we're done in the race, but... Buffalo STX from Groggy. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to keep that behind. Got some good speed carry though. I wonder if... Oh, the Voodoo Custom is probably quicker on Project Homecoming, isn't it? I think they've made it a little quicker. I can go defensive, but it's not going to make a difference. Yeah, he's ahead. So this isn't as slow as it would be on vanilla GTA, I think. Colcat Blackfin 2.9 seconds behind. Ooh, thank you, someone getting something on the store. What's ahead? Yosemite, Drift Yosemite. Last 2 cars got... The top 2 got Drift Yosemite on the last lap. That's why they were in the top 2 positions, probably. Because they hadn't had that. Although it wasn't too bad of a lap, the Drift Yosemite. Come on, keep it! 6th place! That's not a bad return, I think. There's pretty much all your final positions. Just waiting on TDD getting completed. It was fun. I enjoyed. After the carnage on the first lap, it settled down quite nicely and we had some good racing there. I'm pretty happy with that result. Oh yeah, the listing of the tiers: JSO, GFB, DMK, LAID, AHEC, BN. That's the order of the tiers as I got them, and I see there is one word in there: laid. I wish I got laid.